toss-up game. You got a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game where the Bengals won it 27-24. And they're very similar teams. High-powered offenses, very big passing game, mixing the run here and there. But and then it's a defense on the other side for both their defenses. They're not stout defenses, but they keep their offense playable, right? They keep teams in punt or field goals, and then they know their offense is going to score a touchdown. So, and that's all they need them to do. They don't need an elite defense for these teams. So, it's a tough game to call. And it almost brings the question of is Cincinnati kind of like the Chiefs' kryptonite, similar to how Buffalo had Kansas City's kryptonite? And this is one of those games where I think this game matters more to Kansas City than it does to Cincinnati Bengals in the sense like, hey, we need to get this victory over them. They beat us in the playoffs. Similar to Week 6 when Buffalo's like, hey, we need to beat the Chiefs. We need to finally beat the Chiefs. And they did. So they finally got a win. It was a hard-fought battle, 24-20. I think similar scenario. I think Chiefs win this one 24-20, almost identical to that game, just because I think KC needs it more, just off of that revenge of keeping them out of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, go Kansas City here.
I wanted to chime in real quick because unfortunately I have to check out early on the picks. I'll let the boys wipe out the rest of the show. But I'm going to go Chiefs. I think that Patrick Mahomes is unmatched. They're playing at a higher level than the Bengals. No slouch on the Bengals, though. They're definitely playing at an elite level as well. Definitely capable of beating any team in the league right now. Up there with the best of them. Jamar Chase coming off the hip injury, that's going to be a factor. That's going to be tough to see how he comes out and plays. That he's been on that all week. Mixon being out, that's another big deal. So we'll see what the Bengals can shape up in this game. It should be an interesting matchup, but Kelsey can't be covered. He's due for 2-3 touchdowns every game. He's just elite. And then with Patrick Mahomes mixed in. So, but yeah, I'm gonna let the boys get you guys the rest of these picks. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show. I'll get you guys on the next one.
All right, Nikki. Peace
Yeah,
out,
we'll
brother.
get your picks up there, Nikki. And business.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going Kansas City Chiefs here because I just think right now, Cincinnati's been playing well. They've been playing very good. But I think where they're banged up, I think it's gonna hurt. Mixon being down. Jamar Chase is still coming back. This would be his first game back. You got to believe he's on account. You don't want to mess that hip up. Personally, myself, I would say, we've been winning games without him. I would just sit him and have him just be working out all the time and to get that hip right. Like, I just, because you could just aggravate that hip again, and now, you get some sort of separation or something like that because you didn't take long enough to heal. You wanted to play through the pain. Logan Wilson, linebacker, Cincinnati Bengals, chipped up. He's questionable. I just don't see somebody back there trying to stop Travis Kelce. He's a matchup nightmare. This is going to be a huge game for him, I think. In this case, no Kadarius Toney for the Kansas City Chiefs, which I would have liked to see a couple games out of him to see what's going on over there with him. I think they could have really used him in this game, but he's going to be out. But I think the offense is gonna fare well without him. You know what I mean? I'm going Kansas City Chiefs here. I don't know how about you, Chuck.
I was lean Chiefs at the beginning of the week, and like we talked about, briefly before the show started. I don't know. I feel like the Bengals are going to find a way to steal this one. I think the Bengals do have a little bit more at stake here. You're seeing a floundering type of Ravens team at the top, and now you're tied with them. They've come back from that 1-3 start. Definitely clicking, even without Chase, even without Mixon. They remind me a little bit of what Dallas was able to do while they were going through their injuries. They were still able to get victories and keep it moving forward. Obviously, they did it in a different fashion with the passing. But I think at home, I like the Bengals. I'm gonna take the Bengals here. Very well can see the Chiefs winning. Everything you guys said about the Chiefs is 100% spot on. Kelsey's matchup nightmare. Mahomes A+++, and obviously Andy Reid over there, he's a magician. I mean, great coach. I like the Chiefs defense personally better, player for player, but the Bengals have a way of playing a solid unit defense. We've seen it last week against the Titans, which, coming into that one, that unit looked overmatched with Henry coming in hot and stuff like that. And they quietly do, like you said, Brady, they do enough to let their offense do what they do best. And it's a very similar fashion with the Chiefs. So I'm gonna go Bengals here. It might be just off a turnover. It's gonna be a close one. It's gonna be a one-score game. It's been curious for me with the Chiefs here lately, the past season and a half, 2 seasons. It feels like the rest of the league's right there with them. They were knocking these equal matchups out of the park and pulling away at the end and pretty much dominating them. Seeing with the Titans with a backup quarterback earlier this season, the games against Buffalo where they lost, that the upper echelon, the separation for the Chiefs is not as big as what it has been here in the previous years, and missing missing Tony, missing Miko Hardman, they're plugging in Sky Moore. That's what they seem to do. You get Juju Smith Schuster back this week as well, so he'll be a welcome addition. He was playing strong before he got hurt. Chiefs more than capable. I'm gonna go Bengals.
Yeah, I was trying to find myself reasons to pick the Bengals because I wanted to pick the Bengals. But like everything I tell myself about the Chiefs, like, oh, they have to put long drives together and, the threat of the quarterback, stuff like this. But like the Chiefs have more explosive plays. They've got more 20-yard plus passes. They've got more 40-yard plus passes than the Bengals do. Not to mention that Joe Burrow has been sacked 35 times. Patrick Mahomes only 17, half as many times. Patrick Mahomes, and then
That's
the
huge.
Kansas City defense has quietly, they've got 35 sacks on the year. They're up there top 5 defense for sacks. So I wanted to pick the Bengals so bad. I was trying to find myself a reason to pick them, give me a stat nudge, but I couldn't. I couldn't find it. So that's the reason I took Chiefs.
It's
but
more
I like
of a feel thing for me.
Yeah, I'm saying it. That's your argument. I'm saying it's going to be something like a turnover or just the fact that Mahomes wasn't able to complete that one pass, or maybe they do actually blanket Kelsey and make everybody else beat you kind of thing. So it'll be a fun game to watch for sure.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yet another one. I'm gonna be trying to watch 3 different games at one time at 4 o'clock.
They both matter so much because both of them want to stay on top. I mean, Cincinnati can't lose this game because if Cincinnati loses this game, then they're going to be that far behind Baltimore. I mean, they can sweep in right now. If Baltimore loses, they can sweep in right now and take the division. You know?
Up game. Yep. But let's jump on this next one though.